Hi, Paulina. Thanks for sending in your essays for correction. I'm glad you found the website. Maybe you listen to the podcasts. Thank you for your feedback. I will pass that on to Ben. But that's great. But maybe you listen to the podcast. You might find that quite helpful. That's a lot of our students like those. So you have written me a task 1, task 2. This is great. When is your exam? Tell me your IELTS experience. You're obviously doing academic IELTS. Apologies also for the delay in getting this back to you. One of my colleagues is ill, so I'm just taking on some of her work at the moment. So this is a bar chart. So you need to say to me, let's get straight into this. The bar chart illustrates Summerland's production of 3 cereals in every month of 2017. The units measured in tons. Okay, that's a lovely, good start. And you've given me overall sentence, which is perfect. Overall, barley was the most produced cereal over the year. Good, nice superlative in there. Followed by corn, wild, good contrast. Oats was the least produced. Okay, excuse me. The least produced. Now we've got this word production coming up a lot here. So what I'm just comment here. You can say production, but I would rather you try to paraphrase. Okay, so you could say the harvest is quite a good idea. Illustrate Summerland's harvest of. Yeah, would be a nice one. Or you could say the amount of something grown is another way around, because we might need to vary this a little bit. So was the least. You actually don't need to even repeat produced. Okay, but that's very nice superlatives there and good contrasting word there. That's perfect. Furthermore, June was the most highly productive month of the year regarding these 3 cereals, and in contrast, February had the lowest total performance. Good, really nice overall sentence there. I like that. In terms of barley, small b, you don't need a capital there. Okay, and you would need a comma there. April, June, and November were, spelling just were, not where, were the peaks of production, reaching around 130 tons. Meanwhile, February was highly unproductive, with just above 10, and the remaining month's productivity was under the. Now, if you're going to use the, you'd have to use under the 100 tons level, or just under 100 tons, and nothing else. Okay. Corn and oats had similar total production over the years. Yeah, maybe you could say the amount of corn and oats harvested had a similar amount or was similar over the year. It's only 1 year. Where, so here you do need where. Oats started with I wouldn't use massive, maybe use significant. Massive is a little bit informal. Production in January, you don't need the brackets, but then decrease. Now don't use, unfortunately, because that gives me your personal comment. Don't need any personal comment in here. You're doing a great job. This is really factual, so we don't use the words like unfortunately, but then. Now you don't need to repeat it actually. You can just, doesn't matter, but stylistically. Then decreased to around 25 tons in February and fluctuated over the rest of the year. At under, just then under 100 tons, so you don't need to have the there, okay? In contrast, corn began with low production for the first 2 months and continued rising until it reached a peak good of 120 in May. From that point, it also fluctuated. Maybe not repeat fluctuated, it's a good word, but people overuse it. It also varied. What was I thinking of? Yeah, go varied is okay. Under the 100. Or maybe you go varied at levels similar to corn rather than repeating the number. Okay, varied in a range of around 100. And then similar to corn. Okay, Good. So this is a very, very nice response. You've done a great job here. The only comment I would make, okay, you've used lots of lovely language in there, superlatives, contrasting words, which is fantastic. But the only comment I would make is that you have given me the products one by one. It might be nice to have grouped them. Like September was similar for all of them. June was highest for here, but lower for the other ones. So I think that might be the sort of thing that you could say. Equally, you could be noting for February that for barley, it was very January. Barley was very, very low, where this was dramatically higher. So rather than giving me one by one, group it. Okay, this is how you get like in the band sevens, by grouping the information, not just one by one. But very nice task there. I really like that. Well done. Okay, international marketing. Now, this is a nice essay you've done me. What I would comment on is that I think your paragraphs need more organization, and I think you need some really good examples in here to help you. You've mentioned Japan, you've mentioned Amazon and Coca-Cola, but we need just to get the paragraphs in a nice order, maybe. So nowadays, thanks to the internet, now you have the capital I with internet, always capital I. Companies or institutions, campaigns, and generally all information can travel fast and reach every corner of the globe. Okay, companies or institutional campaigns. Institutions, yeah. Companies, I would prefer company is okay. I would say corporate or institutional. Putting them into adjectives. Advertising. You've got to get this word in here, advertising, because this is exactly what this essay is about. This is the most important word. You show me advertising, and this is what we're talking about, marketing. Okay, it's not really trade. So I would prefer this, using these as adjectives. And generally, all information can travel fast and reach every corner of the globe. Nice. International marketing is one of those fast-moving issues that has grown rapidly. You don't necessarily need to say that because you've just made that point here. So I don't think you necessarily need that sentence. And then, but you could carry on from here. While this trend, you don't need a comma. While this trend could be seen as an advantage for spreading valuable ideas and educating people in several aspects, others, in contrast, could argue. I wouldn't necessarily put that in several aspects. Others, in contrast, could see this exchange of ideas and products as, unwelcome. Unwelcome is just gets over this idea of we're not allowed to use invasive. So we're not going to use the same words as the examiner. So I think this idea of exchange of ideas is unwelcome is a nice way around that. Now I want your opinion. This is why I need to cut that line there, opinion, and then I want you to introduce this essay. This essay we'll discuss. So the kind of format for this essay is very important. The cohesion. This to do with cohesion and coherence, which is 25% of your marks. How the essay is organised, and this is really important. In the online course which we do, which you may have seen advertised and which I'd like to mention to you today, we have a whole module on cohesion, really working on building the perfect strong paragraph, which is going to be like direct and clear and coherent, as we say, so well organised. There's a major part of the population, so why don't we just say experts or business experts or many experts believe that. So I would avoid putting that bit in there. Okay, believe that international marketing or advertising is, okay, singular verb, leading countries to lose their own culture and ancestral practices, primarily because this information is so invasive. So change that word, damaging or unwelcome or unpopular or different, that people are, careful on the verb here, losing interest in what they have nearby and I wouldn't say in opposition, and are inclined maybe, and are becoming inclined or motivated to or maybe to endorse global tendencies, endorse or embrace more global tendencies. Okay, so listen carefully to the correction just to help you there. Now an example, so that's nice. So topic sentence, develop it. Now your example, young Indigenous people from Colombia's Amazon do not speak, watch out on this grammar here, their language anymore because they are frequently exposed to American TV adverts. So get this idea back to advertising and are therefore able to understand the culture of Coca-Cola or Apple. Yeah? So I would put in more of this and then the culture of Coca-Cola or Apple, capital letters. Absolutely right. Good paragraph, really nice. I like that. Just see what we're trying to do. A few grammar things in here which you need to check out, okay? But also just develop this paragraph nicely by developing the example really fully. And then, yeah, so give me more on the example. Therefore, or it can clearly be seen that. And you're going to link this back so that it can be damaging to the indigenous people or can be damaging to local cultures. Okay. However, there are others who believe that the positive impact of international marketing, or who embrace or endorse or are enthusiastic about the positive impact of international marketing, arguing it's been a useful tool for educating people around the world, not only in technical or academic knowledge, but in human rights and democratic values. Okay, that's really nice. I like that idea there. That's great. Global diffusion, but we need to connect this back to advertising, okay? You're saying international marketing a lot, which is their word in the question. You need to really show the examiner you know exactly what we mean by this. I'm keeping on talking about advertising because that's the way we want to go. So for the full marks in task achievement, you need to show you've totally understand the question. And there's a module on this in the course. We do a lot of practice on essay writing. You get a lot of corrections. You do, I think it's 5 task 1 and 8 task 2 essays, which I will correct for you. And that really gives you the idea on how to answer these different kind of questions and what exactly is needed in a good response. Okay. So this is nice, but you just might need to connect it back on this advertising. Global diffusion of what? Do you mean on TV, or do you mean news reports? What do we mean here? It's helping states fight poverty as well as dictatorships. For example, now, yes, in terms of being on the news, but in terms of marketing, like selling a product, no. Japan's recent protests where they were supported by the international community, international campaigns. Now, yes, campaigns, but do you see the problem here? I love your example, but we need to relate it back to a product, an advertising campaign, or that kind of thing. If you want to connect it back to marketing, you need to say there were campaigns on Facebook talking about why. You need to specifically say, you have to say an international democracy campaign. You'd need to really specifically say what you meant here, just to show the examiner, because for me it looks like you're a little bit off the actual task. In conclusion, even though there are some risks resulting ing from the international marketing, again, watch out on this. In my personal opinion, the benefits outweigh, not outweigh in a present tense, the disadvantages, because I believe this is an important way of reducing social and economic gaps in the world. Interesting. Furthermore, you don't need to go, I think that. Because furthermore, blaming this trend would not be the solution to the loss LOSS of traditions. Instead, educating the population about the population of preserving them could be a better way to address the problem. I like that conclusion. Very interesting. Good conclusion. You've got so much good stuff going on in this essay. Really nice. So just to summarize, there's obviously some grammar issues, which I think you need to have a look at. The coherence probably is the main thing for me. On the online course, the sentence guide takes you through, literally sentence by sentence, how to put these essays together, and that would give you a nice framework for your lovely ideas. So check that out. I'm very happy to give you a discount today on that, and also 2 free essay corrections. Thank you very much. Well done.